Hey, it's George G from Lifeblood. Wanted to talk with you today about a really, really important under-discussed topic, and that is of self-care. More so than ever before, we are paying attention to it. We are thinking a lot more about mental health and more about the role that self-care, taking care of ourselves, plays. And I think that that is in part due to what we're all going through with the pandemic, and it's been really galvanized, catalyzed, moved forward by some of the top professional athletes in the world. You have one of the best tennis players in the world talking about it. You've got the best gymnasts in the world talking about it, and other people from a business standpoint and other leaders among us talking about just how important self-care is. So don't need to talk about how much we as Americans and all over the world are struggling with mental health, but it is such an important thing. And so self-care, as we are moving through the pandemic, whatever stage of the pandemic we're at right now, but as we move forward, eventually hopefully through it, how can we practice self-care to make sure that we are obviously caring for ourselves, but making sure that we are feeling as good as we possibly can. And if we're doing that, then we're able to show up for the people that we care for, that depend on us, that love us, and that we love, to do the best job that we can for ourselves and for them. So it's such an important topic. So I just wanted to go through some things that have really helped me a lot to be a better practitioner of self-care, to do it, and hopefully it'll benefit you as well. So I think that if you would have told me 5 years ago, you need to do a better job with self-care, I would have kind of looked at you like, I don't have any idea what that is. And isn't that incredibly indulgent? And who am I to engage in or even think about self-care? That's preposterous. I'm busy, I've got work to do and all that kind of stuff. And it's just not true. It's just not the case. So here's really what I wanted to share with you, is that first and foremost, when we're talking about self-care, I think that an important first step is just to really be honest with yourself, and be honest with yourself about what you're feeling and what you're thinking. So if you're burned out, if you're at the end of your rope, well, you're not doing yourself a service, or the people that you are trying to be showing, or that you're showing up for, a service. Burning out is not going to get you to wherever it is that you want to go. Being exhausted is not going to get you to where you want to go. So making sure that you are paying attention and checking in with yourself. Say, how am I feeling right now? And if you are feeling like, I need a break, I need to step back from this, I need to get some of this off my plate, then absolutely do that. If taking a nap is going to move you from operating at 60% to operating at 70%, 80, 90, or 100%, well, then that nap, that is something that you should do twice a day. That is something you should absolutely do, and that could be taking a walk or going for a hike or meditation, whatever it is that you're into. Just finding something that when you're not feeling it, when you're not feeling like 100%, when you feel like you do need a break, that you should absolutely take a break. So there's a couple of really easy things that I think that you can do, but sounds easy, does hard, because when we're expected to be performing at really high levels all the time, it's not easy to say, hey, I need a little bit of a break. But in taking that break, it's going to help me to get back to that place where I am performing at a really, really high level. And that's really what this is all about. But that might not be what it's all about for you, which is why, again, it's just really important for you to be honest with yourself and say, okay, here's how I'm feeling, here's what I'm thinking, what do I need to do to take better care of myself so that I am able to be showing up at the highest possible level that I can. And then I think that such an important part of self-care and being effective with it is having routines, processes, systems, whatever term that you want to use, so that you actually do them. What gets measured gets done. What also gets calendared gets done. Because if you just have sort of a loose idea of here's what I want to do to take care of myself, but you don't actually commit to doing it or schedule it, well, guess what's going to happen is emergencies are going to come up, and then you're going to not do the self-care thing that you said that you were going to do, or that you were hoping that you could get around to doing, because hope is absolutely not a strategy. And when we're talking about a topic as important as self-care, you do need to have systems, processes, routines, habits for actually making it happen. So here are some things that have really helped me out. I think that the more you can have a consistent, defined bedtime and wake time, it will really, really, really serve you. I think that the more we can do a good job of going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time is going to help our bodies to be able to predict, okay, I'm tired, but I know that I'm going to get rest soon. And that consistency helps to train our bodies to be able to perform as well as they can and as well as we need them to. So try and get to bed at around the same time and try and get up at the same time every day. If you can get up at exactly the same time every day, I think that that is a really, really smart thing. The next thing is I really want to encourage you to get up earlier. I might have just lost you right there. Like, you still there? Wake up earlier. That sounds awful. I'm not a morning person, but I've always been a person who has gotten up early because it gives me time to get stuff done or to do things or just to have me time before the rest of the world gets up, before most other people get up. So I've always done that. Now it's even more important because I'm married. My wife Emily and I have two beautiful kids, James and Jack. And when they are up, they need my attention. They demand my attention, and I want to give them my attention. So if I want to have time in the morning so I'm not hurried, so when I'm with them, I've already gotten a lot of work done so that I'm not having to think about my brain is not somewhere else. It can be with them. So waking up early allows you to go through all the things that you want to do, which I'm going to get into now, in a way that you'll be unhurried and you can do all of them, and that'll give you peace of mind. Say, okay, all right, I've already gotten a lot done today. Gotten some time to myself. I've gotten to do the things that I wanted to do. Versus if you wake up and you got 5 minutes to try to get everything done, well, that's just not going to work. You'll be frazzled. You'll feel like you're playing from behind, and that will bleed through into everything else. And the people in your life will pick up on it. Your energy will be bad and all that stuff. So if you can get up a little earlier, do that. It will be uncomfortable at first, but if you can train yourself to do it, I think that that is just a beautiful form of self-care. I think that discipline is a beautiful form of self-care, even though it may not seem like it is. It just gives you a lot more freedom to be able to do the things that you want to do. So when you wake up early, when you get up in the morning, knowing what it is that you want to do and having a self-care regimen during that time, I think is a really, really powerful thing. I encourage you to get up. Do not check email. It's maybe the best self-care thing that I can give to you. Do not let other people, other things control the direction of your mind or your morning. Because that email is going to be there 90 minutes from now or 60 minutes from now when you wake up. Let's just use round numbers. Let's say you wake up at 5. Well, if you check your email and you get bad news, that's going to wreck the next foreseeable amount of time. But if you say, I'm not going to check my email until 6 or 6:30, that'll give you 60 or 90 minutes of time to let your mind go where you want your mind to go. And that's not that long. If there's just a crazy emergency, they're going to call you, but it's probably not going to happen because it's early in the morning. So those emails can wait. So that's I don't want to call that a life hack because I hate life hacks, but that's something I would really encourage you to do, is to hold off on checking your email until a little bit later in the day. From there, I really want you to exercise. So get your body moving. I'm not saying you need to do a CrossFit routine or you need to be lifting weights or anything at all. It could be just simply as something as simple as going for a walk or just moving your body. Do some air squats or do some push-ups or some sit-ups, or go to the gym or ride an exercise bike, whatever you're into. And it doesn't have to be crazy. It can be 10 minutes, it could be 20 minutes, just moving your body, getting up and moving around a little bit. Then I really encourage you to do some stretching. As we get a little bit older, like me, bodies don't quite respond like they used to. And you get aches and pains, your back starts to hurt, junk like that. So the more we can do from a stretching standpoint, that's really going to help you to feel better. It plays a huge difference, or makes a huge difference in my life, certainly. And then doing a little bit of breath work. I think the more we can just be breathing, doesn't need to be anything crazy. I'm not telling you to put your fingers together like this or anything like that. I'm not telling you to meditate, even though it's a pretty cool thing and it's an important and valuable thing to do, just to do some breath work, because that is one thing we just don't do enough, is focus on our breathing and make sure that we're getting enough oxygen in and getting it and blowing enough out. There's this super fascinating person named Wim Hof, and he's got all these amazing videos about breathing, and he is known as the Iceman because he jumps in freezing water and swims around and holds his breath, and he hiked Mount Everest in a pair of shorts and nothing else. So he's a fascinating person, and I will link in the description to some videos to check out his breath work and his breathing, but it makes me feel a lot better. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. And then finally, if you have time, or you can make time, is to get a pen and some paper and just write for 10 minutes, write for 20 minutes, write a page, write 3 pages. There's this beautiful person named Julia Cameron, and she has her morning pages, which she has done for years and years and years and years. And she's got this masterpiece of a book called The Artist's Journey. And I can't encourage you, anybody, whether you want to be a writer or you're a creative, that book is just a wonderful book. And her process for writing and why she does it, how she does it, is an absolutely beautiful thing. So I'll do a video about morning pages and how I do them, and how Julia Cameron, because I do it the same way that she encourages people to do it. But that's nothing but a wonderful, wonderful practice. And all journaling is just writing down what it is that you're thinking. So you're paying attention to your thoughts, and it can be a very cathartic and positive thing to just write down what it is that you're thinking. I think that if you're not in the habit of it, that is probably going to sound kind of weird, but I guarantee that when you start doing it, you will find it to be an extremely rewarding practice. So the reason that I talk about this is because if you're not organized, there's no way that you're going to be able to fit all of those things into your morning, along with having to get ready and do all the things that go along with that. So being organized and coming up with a good system for yourself, although that might seem like a lot, and you're thinking, well, isn't this supposed to be self-care? Well, there's a lot that goes into self-care, and there's a lot of different forms of it. You might just think that taking a bath is a form of self-care, or getting a massage, and it 1000% is. Taking a nap is self-care. All of these things are true, but so another form of self-care is just doing all the things that your body needs you to do and that your mind needs you to do to feel like you're advancing and living a healthy life, and all of those things as well. So as you're thinking about your self-care, be honest with yourself. If everything that I just talked about sounds stupid to you, well, then don't do them, but find some things that do sound good to you and then revisit it. Honor those feelings. So when you are feeling like you need a break, take a break. Pay attention to when it is you're going to bed. Try to be in bed for 8 hours. It doesn't mean you need to be sleeping for 8 hours, but if I can be in bed for 8 hours and it takes me, 30 minutes to fall asleep or whatever it might be, that's what I always plan for. So you do all those things, I think you really position yourself for success and help you to better get through the rest of the pandemic. And then once we're through, help you to make self-care part of your life moving forward. I think that that's nothing but a good thing. So thanks for taking a minute to check this out. Would love for you to check out the website. It's lifeblood.live. We're working to help people get better so that they can live the lives that they want, and would love to have you as part of our community. Thanks a lot.